Hello, welcome again. Today let's discuss about environmental factors. Environmental factors affecting transpiration. You can list them. Which are those ones? Number one, we have temperature. Number two, we have wind. Number three, you have light intensity. Number four, we have atmospheric pressure and availability of water. Atmospheric pressure and availability of water. We are speaking about what? Availability of water, availability of water, availability of water. And the last one, we have humidity. Let's start with temperature. Temperature is one of the environmental factors that will affect transpiration. And how will the temperature affect? The temperature can affect either when high, and it can affect still when it's low. So when it's high, what happens at the temperature? The temperature will increase the internal heating of the leaf. So we are speaking here, when what temperature is high, that is high temperature. And we are explaining that high temperature, this increases the internal heating of the leaf. When it increases this internal heating of the leaf, it will increase the latent heat of vaporization. So we are saying which increases the what? Latent heat of vaporization, which increases the latent heat of vaporization. And when it increases this latent heat of vaporization, this is what now happens from the mesophyll cells to the atmosphere. This leads to the higher rate of water loss. So we are saying heat of vaporization from where? Mesophyll cells. Thus, increasing the rate of water loss through transpiration. When you speak about the low temperature, that is will be vice versa. It's the vice versa of this one, because you speak about decrease in the temperature leads to the decrease in the internal heating of the leaf. So we are speaking about what? Decrease. Decrease in the internal heating of the leaf, thus decreasing what? Rate of water loss. Decreasing rate of water loss from that sponge mesophyll to the atmosphere. That is about the temperature. Increase in temperature, increasing the internal heating of the leaf. Thus increase the latent heat of vaporization. From which point? Mesophyll cells. Thus this increases the rate of water loss through a process called transpiration. And through the structures, we have various structures. It can be stomata, but because we are speaking about mesophyll cells, that will be on the leaf. Sometimes transpiration can take place in the stem. It can happen where? In the stem. Either through the cuticle. We can have cuticular transpiration and also what? Lenticular transpiration and stomatal transpiration. Let's check number 2, which is about wind. Number 2 is what? Wind. And on the wind, we have strong wind and we have a calm day. On the calm day, transpiration rate is very low because of the accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere being high, sorry. The atmosphere will be having less water because the wind will blow away the accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere. So we are speaking about wind, strong wind. What will happen to the strong wind? Strong wind will blow accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere. Hope you're getting that. We are speaking about what? Wind blowing the accumulated water vapor in where? The atmosphere. And this one, as it's doing that, it will be carrying with it that what? Water vapor from the leaf surface. So we are saying it will do what? That's carrying what? Also, water vapor on the leaf surface. And because of this, what will happen? It will have taken this one. This increases the concentration gradient difference between the internal leaf and the external atmosphere. And the external what? Atmosphere. And this now increases the rate of transpiration. So we are saying what? Increases the concentration gradient difference between inside of the leaf and outside the leaf. And because of this increased concentration gradient difference, thus increasing rate of flow, thus increasing water loss, thus increasing what? Water loss through transpiration. For the wind, we can do it artificially using what? We can use a fan. As the fan is moving, with it will be carrying away the accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere. So we are speaking about it blow away the accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere. When it blows these accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere, and also that on the surface of the leaf, we are speaking about it will increase the concentration gradient difference between the internal leaf and the external part of the leaf, and this increases the rate of water loss. Then on the other side, if we don't have strong wind, then when it's calm, so that will be just what? The vice versa of what? Vice versa of this one. Vice what? Versa of when it's wind. When it's wind. So it's like just we are speaking about when it's calm, there will be a lot of accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere. And because of this one, there will be reduced concentration gradient difference between the inner side of the leaf and the outer side of the leaf. And because of this one, less water will be lost. Let's go to the third, which is about the light intensity. We're speaking about what? Light intensity. Light intensity. How does the light intensity affect transpiration? How does it affect transpiration? Light intensity affects transpiration indirectly. So we are saying this one affects what? Transpiration indirectly. How does it affect indirectly? You know the role of light in a plant. Role of what? Role of light energy is always to do what? Is to split water molecules to hydrogen atoms and oxygen gas. These hydrogen atoms combine with carbon dioxide. So the hydrogen atoms combines with carbon 4 oxide to form a simple sugar. That is something like glucose. A process called carbon 4 oxide fixation. And what happens at this point? We form glucose in the guard cell. So here it's happening in the guard cell, sorry. We are saying what? Hydrogen in guard cell. In the guard cell, we have chloroplasts. Those chloroplasts are the ones that will be absorbing the light energy. When they absorb the light energy, the chloroplast will absorb the light energy, which will be used to split that water molecules to hydrogen atoms and oxygen gas. The oxygen gas will just be lost in the atmosphere to be used in the respiration process. Then the hydrogen atoms will combine with the carbon 4 oxide in the carbon 4 oxide fixation process, and we form a simple sugar. This glucose formed now will increase. So we are speaking about glucose in the guard cell. Increases the osmotic properties. Increases what? The osmotic properties of the guard cell. And water is drawn, and it will draw through the semi-permeable cell membrane. By osmosis. Guard cell becomes turgid. It becomes what? Turgid, and the stomach bulges outwards. Making it to open. Making it to do what? Open. Hope you understand this one. When it opens now, so the stomach opens, which is what? Site for transpiration. So let's just relate. We are saying it will be affecting indirectly. And how does it affect indirectly? It will affect at the end this opening of the stomata. The stomata, which is the site for transpiration. Stomata will be doing some two functions: gaseous exchange and as a site of transpiration. So what are we speaking about this point? That light energy. The more the light intensity, the more the light energy, which will be used to split the water molecules to hydrogen atoms and oxygen gas. Hydrogen atoms, oxygen what? Gas. Then that is in the gas cell. This combines still with carbon 4 oxide and will form a simple sugar. This simple sugar, which is the glucose in the guard cell, it will increase the osmotic properties of the guard cell. And water will be drawn through a process of what? Osmosis. This now makes our guard cell to become turgid, and the stomach. It's not the stomach now. That guard cell and the guard cell. It's not the stomach, but what? The guard cell, And it's about the guard cell wall, because in the guard cell we have some adaptations, the inner wall and the outer wall. So the inner wall will bulge more. The inner wall will bulge more than the outer wall, and this leads to the stomach making it what? Open. Bulging outwards, making it to open. What is opening here? Our stomach. The stomach will open, and we are saying that is the site for transpiration. And because of this one, a lot of water will be lost. A lot of what? Water is lost in form of water vapor. And the other one will just be vice versa of what we have said. Let's check about humidity. Let's discuss about the humidity. What about the humidity? So we are saying we discuss about what? Humidity. What is humidity? This amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. This is what? amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. So when you speak about a humid atmosphere, it means we have a lot of accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere. Like just of the wind. We said the wind was blowing away the accumulated water vapor in the atmosphere. So it means if the atmosphere is very humid with a lot of water vapor, transpiration rate will be low. Is that clear? So we're speaking about what? When humidity is high, there is a lot of accumulated water vapor. There will be low transpiration because of what? Reduced concentration gradient difference. So we are speaking about what? High humidity, low rate of transpiration. Reason being because of what? The main reason here we are speaking about is because of reduced concentration gradient difference between the inner leaf and outer leaf. That is atmosphere section. So we're speaking about just the humidity. So for transpiration to be very high, what should happen? The rate of when the humidity is high, a lot of water vapor will be accumulating. Low rate of transpiration, low humidity, high transpiration rate, less accumulated water vapor, increased concentration gradient difference between the inner leaf and the outer leaf. That is why we'll have a lot of water loss. Then let's check about the last, which is the atmospheric pressure. No, we have two still. Let's check first about the atmospheric what? Pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. On the atmospheric pressure, can you relate with the humidity, altitude? So you speak about high altitude, low atmospheric pressure. Low atmospheric pressure. What about this altitude now? What about this altitude? So we are saying now because about this one, when we have a lot in the high altitude, there will be a lot of water vapor in the atmosphere. Is that clear? So we are speaking altitude, low atmospheric pressure. And in high altitude, there is a lot of accumulated water vapor. Hope you are getting the point. We are speaking about what? In high altitude, you speak about what? High altitude. Humidity is very high. So we have what? High humidity. High humidity in high altitude. Altitude. And because of this one, what happens? Thus, low transpiration. And what's the main reason because of this one? What? Reduced concentration gradient difference. Concentration gradient difference. And it's low concentration gradient difference between which point? The inner leaf and the outer leaf. So what you just have to understand is high altitude, low atmospheric pressure. Because of this one, the main reason is because we have high humidity at the high altitude area. In high altitude area, humidity is what? High. And we say it in high, we are just repeating what we have said. So because of that high altitude, there will be low transpiration because of accumulated water vapor, and this leads to low concentration gradient or reduced concentration gradient difference between inner and outer leaf. Then the last one is availability of water. Availability of what? You just relate this one with the gut cell, availability of water. The more the water in the soil, the more the absorption rate. And this one leads to more turgidity in the gut cell. So we're saying more water in the soil leads to higher rate of absorption, high rate of absorption, gut cells become turgid, and because gut cells become turgid, what happens? This leads to stoma open. Stoma opens and thus increased rates of transpiration and vice versa. So hope you understand about this water. So we are saying about what? When we have more water in the soil, there will be more absorption. The more the absorption, the increased the turgidity of our gut cell. And you also know the importance of the water. The water is the one that we are splitting with the light energy. You can go the other way, a direct making the gut cell to be turgid, or you go the indirect way that we are speaking about being a raw material in the photosynthesis process. We form the glucose, which increases the osmotic pressure, gut cell still opening, and because of this one, we increase the rate of water loss. That is it that we learn today about the what? We have discussed about what? Factors or environmental factors that affect the rate of transpiration. Temperature, wind, light intensity, atmospheric pressure, humidity, and the availability of water. There are 6. Thank you for learning. You can subscribe. Click up the like button so that you may be getting some notification. So our next discussion will be the structural factors. Get tuned, it's coming soon. Thank you very much. This is Akim's Bio Production Academy.